What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine, back with another video. Yes, back with another unboxing. Here before you is the Samsung A70. Alright, now the Samsung A series, ladies and gentlemen, is popping right now. You know what I'm saying? It goes from A to A10, you know what I'm saying, which is like the most budget friendly. I mean, I think the A10 is like barely over $100, all the way up to the A90, which is going to be released here shortly. And so obviously the higher the number, the higher the specs, and also the higher the cost. But I know that, you know, we currently got the S10 and the S10 Plus out. Samsung is right, we're just shy of the unveiling of the Note 10 and the Note 10 Pro or the Note 10 Plus, or, you know, whatever it's going to be called. And, you know, I'm challenging people right now, man, you know what I mean, with their smartphone purchases, and whether or not all the extra money that's being spent for these flagship devices are actually worth it. I've asked people in a few of my most recent videos, how many of you that have spent anywhere from $700 to $1,000, anywhere from $700 to $1,000 on a device, is actually utilizing everything that phone has to offer? Every bit of power that processor can spit out, the RAM, the storage, all of its features and functions. Like, how many of you are actually using every bit of these features and functions to a T? You know what I mean? Keep it real. How many of you just went and spent all that cheese on that device because it was just the latest and the greatest from whoever this manufacturer was, and you're just like, yo, I gotta have it? You know what I mean? You got sucked in by the advertisement, the commercials, and all that. You know, because let's face it. You know, I've never seen any OEM market and advertise like Apple and like Samsung, which is why they've got such a reputation. So their reputation is well deserved. But at the same time, people sleep on a lot of these other manufacturers out here that are making products that are just as good, if not better, than those two top tier manufacturers. Now, I'm just on a mid-range kick right now because I feel like there's just an all-out war going on right now in the mid-range category. There is too with the flagships, but I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I just don't really see myself spending $1,000 for a while on a smartphone. You know what I mean? Because the budget in the mid-range have gotten so good. It's like, you know, the differences between the mid-range and the flagship are barely even noticeable at this frame of the game, depending on who you are and how you use your device. All right. So this is the Samsung A70 right here. Again, one of the notable players in the mid-range market, making a lot of noise right now. I had to get it, so here it is, man. Now let's get into the specifications real quick. Now the price. Cop this on Amazon for $364.95. All right. With tax, it was $401.45. Now taxes are going to be different based on where you are in the world, but here in Seattle, Washington, well, you know where I'm at, taxes with, you know, for $364.95 equal to $401.45. I mean, so like the taxes were like $36.45 or something like that. Not a bad price for everything that you're getting, because you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. Now, we've got a 6.7 inch 1080 by 2400 pixel Super AMOLED 20.9 aspect ratio display. Now we've got a PPI pixel density of 393. We've got an 86% screen to body ratio. We've got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the front of this device. Now this device is Glastic. What is Glastic? It's glass on the front, plastic in the back, but very attractive, might I add. And you'll see when I take it out of the box here. Now we've got a Snapdragon 675 processor, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of onboard storage, up to a terabyte expandable storage. Okay, we've got an octa-core CPU and Adreno 612 GPU, and we're running Android 9 Pie over One UI. You guys know I'm a fan of that One UI. Samsung has jumped leaps and bounds with their software. One UI is dope. It's one of my favorite softwares right now. All right, now Moving on to the cameras, we've got a triple camera setup on the back of this phone. We've got a primary 32 megapixel sensor. We've got an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. Now it doesn't state whether or not one of those sensors, whether it be the 8 megapixel or the 5 megapixel, is a telephoto. So we'll check that out once we open up the camera app and see if we have that 2x optical zoom. But from where I sit, the information that's in front of me, it's an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 5 megapixel depth sensor, 32 megapixel primary sensor. All right, now for the front camera, we've got the dewdrop notch or the teardrop notch on the top of this phone. And that also is housing a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So, you know, your camera game should be on point with this phone. Some of the camera features, we've got LED flash, panorama, HDR, 4K recording at 30 frames per second. And for the front camera, we have HDR and we also have 1080p recording at 30 or 60 frames per second. Now, battery with this bad boy, we've got a 4,500 milliamp hour monster of a battery. All right. We've got 2.0 Type-C and we've got fast battery charging. We've got a 25 watt wall adapter on here. So that means that this phone is going to be able to charge very fast. Most phones come with anywhere between a 15 or an 18 watt wall adapter. This is 25 watts. All right, now I don't know if that's going to be as fast as like OnePlus Warp Charge fast. I doubt it, but I mean, we'll see. 25 watts, you're going to be able to charge this bad boy up pretty quick, especially considering the fact that it's a big 4,500 milliamp hour battery. Usually phones that have, you know, batteries that are like 4,000 milliamps and up, it takes, not too long, but I mean, you know, it takes a little bit longer to charge those cells because they're bigger. You know what I mean? Now, additional features, we've got Bluetooth 5.0, we've got an under the display fingerprint sensor, we've got FM radio, NFC, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and again, we do have dual nano SIM slots. I mean, so you have the ability to have dual nano SIMs in this joint, or you can have a nano SIM and an SD card to expand that memory on up to a terabyte. All right, now the colors in which we can get this in, we can get this in coral, blue, black, which is what this is, all black, everything, no racist, absolutely no racist. All right, but it is always, it's all black everything. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool because the black has like when light shines off of it, it changes colors. It's very interesting, but you'll see it when I get it out of the box here. And then we can also get it in white. So coral, blue, black, and white. All right, those are the color schemes that you can get the Samsung Galaxy A70 in. All right, now let's check out the presentation. Box here, nice and colorful box. Samsung A70. This is different because usually Samsung just normally has their boxes in just that plain kind of looking black box. You know what I mean? And you know, that's just what they do. But Samsung Galaxy A70 on the left, nothing on the right. On the bottom of the box, here's your serial number, IMEI information, all that stuff. On the back of the box here, you've got a lot of the phone's internal hardware specs and all that kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, charge, super rapid. Yeah, 25 watt charger. Yeah, I imagine this phone is going to be a beast. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What? Well, I know this ain't what I think it is. What? And it got the tint to it, the rubber TPU case, and it's got kind of like a dark tint. That's pretty, man, what? Samuel, what's up, Sammy? I ain't never bought a Samsung phone that had a case in the box. Man, what? Oh, man, I'm shocked and appalled right now, man. Sammy, all right, man, all right, yeah, case in the box. Man, quick start guide, and what else we got up in here, man? Okay, warranty card, and then this is a quick start guide in other languages. Man, I'm pumped. Samsung adding a case, that is unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Because Samsung is some of the coldest, blood-sucking price gouging OEMs that there is, man. You know what I'm saying? They want you to spend $1,000 to $1,100 on the device, and then you got to go and spend another 30, 40, 50 bucks on a case, depending on what type of case you get. Man, I am shocked and appalled, ladies and gentlemen. We got a case in the box for a Samsung phone. All right, yeah. Okay, here's our Samsung Galaxy A70. Infinity U display, on-screen fingerprint, super fast charging. Man, let's get it. You guys, you see that? You see how the light's reflecting off of it, and it's kind of green, blue, and kind of orangish. Yeah. Oh, how can I get this? Oh, just gonna slide it right on out the top. All right. Boom. Okay. Here's our device here, ladies and gents. And you guys can see that in the light, when light reflects off of it. Beautiful. Feels really good in the hands. I love the way that it's curved in the back from both the right and the left sides. Even though this is a big 6.7 inch monster, it's easy to hold in the hand. Okay? And I've got really small hands, and the way that I'm wielding this thing, wow. No fingerprints. I just recently put lotion on my hands. I don't see any smudges on the phone. It has a really, really good feel to it. And like I said, this phone is Glastic. Okay, we've got Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, plastic on the back. But it does look really premium, and it feels really premium. And I'm also a fan, too, of the camera bump right now. It protrudes very slightly, not a whole lot. I like that. So when we have this case on, then for sure, the case I'm sure is going to have a little bit of a lip over the camera hump, so that when you place your phone on a flat surface, then you're not going to be rubbing your camera lens against the table or whatever the surface is that you've got your phone sitting on. I'm a fan of that. All right, so we'll go ahead and power the bad boy on and set it to the scissor. We got some juice? Okay. All right, so yeah, we'll set the phone aside for a moment and see what we got here. Okay, we got a 128 gig SD card. Whoa, that's interesting. All right, I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I'll take it. I can't guarantee that whoever decides to order this phone that this is going to be in the box. I don't know, maybe it will. But there is a 128 gig SD card in the case. Wow. Okay. Cool. So we get a case and a 128 gig SD card. Okay, here is our fast charging, our 25 watt wall adapter, which is going to provide that super fast charging. All right, file that to the side. Here is our Type-C charging cable. And if I can go ahead and peel this out of the plastic. Okay, and as you can see, it's Type-C on both sides, which is definitely a plus. You can see on the back of our wall adapter here, it is a Type-C port rather than a USB. You know what I mean? So should be able to transfer information and charge a little bit quicker than what you normally would. And let's see, and we've got a nice pair of headphones in here. Now, are these, I'm not sure if these are AKG tuned, because typically Samsung products are. I can't read in there, and I don't know. I'll confirm that in the full review. All right, and then we have the SIM ejector tool right there on the bottom of the box. All right, now let's get back to the phone here. All right, so here we are, man, big massive 6.7 inch display. Although this phone is big, it doesn't feel as big as it is. Like you would expect for this phone being 6.7 inches for it to just be I mean, it's massive and it's really tall. It's not really all that wide, which is how I'm easily able to wield it in one hand the way that I am. But it has a really, really good feel to it. So as you can see, 6.7 inch display corner to corner. There's our little teardrop notch at the top. Very thin bezels at the top and on the sides on the bottom. A little bit of a chin here on the bottom, but nothing too intrusive, or it's nothing that's going to interfere with content. You know what I mean? And that's the good thing about having these big displays is you get a lot of screen real estate to really help with viewing content. You know what I mean? Now, moving around to the right side of the device, we've got the power button and the volume rocker all on the same side. At the top of the device, we've got, is that an antenna line? We've just got a little noise canceling mic right there. Moving around to the left of the device, here is our SIM tray right there. And this is where we can house 2 nano SIMs or a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion, which Amazon threw in a 128 gig SD card. So that was nice of them to do, very generous. Bottom of the device, here's our 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Here's our Type-C port. Here is our bottom firing speaker. Here's a little noise canceling microphone. I doubt that this has dual stereo speakers, but I'll test that out once I get things all powered up. And moving around to the back of the device, again, we've got our Samsung branding right there, dual tone LED flash. Oh, okay. I mean, we're gonna have to change that on to English, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but yeah, the phone talking to me, y'all. All right. Now in the rear, we've got our triple camera system set up. Here's our 32 megapixel sensor, 8 megapixel, and our 5 megapixel depth sensor. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my information put into this joint, and I'll come back as soon as I'm at the desktop. Y'all hold it down. All right, y'all, so we back in. Here is the desktop for the Samsung Galaxy A70. Now, after getting, playing with this phone for a little bit, and I went through the storage space, looked at the amount of storage that we had with just all of the pre-installed applications. Out of 128 gigs, we had 106 gigs available. And I went ahead and I downloaded all of my applications, and that only took like 3 more gigs. And so, and the apps that I normally rock with is like, I think I downloaded like maybe 35 or 40 apps or something like that. Now we are at, let's see, if we go to device care, go to storage. This is where you manage all your storage information. Okay, so 25 gigabytes have been utilized out of 128 gigs, and so available space, we've got 103 gigs. All right, so be aware that fresh out of the box, the pre-installed applications that are on this phone, it's going to take up a little bit of gigabyte space, but you're still going to have plenty to be able to rock with. All right, now really quickly, this phone has the same under the display fingerprint sensor as we found on the S10 and the S10 Plus. So if we double tap and go ahead and just lay our finger there, you see the little ripple effect. Oh, now it's one of those fingerprint sensors where you gotta leave your hand on it for a second. It's no slower or faster than the fingerprint sensor that we found on the S10 or the S10 Plus. It's the exact same. Lay your thumb on it, nice little ripple effect animation, and it opens the screen right up. We do also have facial recognition, which is lightning quick. Now I'm gonna move my face away from the camera, and on the S10 Plus, or on the S10 and the S10 Plus, we had the little camera hole cut out right here at the top left. All right, now we've got the little teardrop notch here at the top of this device. And so you will see the little animation going around the camera right there as it's scanning for my face. Okay. And then once it sees my face, once I move back into the camera's view, then the phone automatically just opens up. And you can set that to open up and just go straight to your desktop as it just did, or you can set it to where it will unlock the device, but you'll still have to swipe up to unlock your phone. All right, but just another quick demonstration. You see that? I mean, it's lightning quick. I mean, so it's like the facial recognition is actually faster than the fingerprint sensor, but the fingerprint sensor does work. It's just one of those fingerprint sensors that, again, you got to just press your thumb on it. What? No match. Wait, let me try that again. Let me get my face out of the way. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I mean, it's not the fastest. It's not like OnePlus 7 Pro fast. I mean, but it works. I mean, so there's your demonstration with the facial recognition and the fingerprint scanner. Now, you know, very interested in this phone because I was curious. I've never had a Samsung mid-range device, and I understand why Samsung made this device along with some of the other mid-rangers and the budget phones, because there's a huge market for those devices, and not a lot of people are going to want to spend anywhere from $800 to $1,000 on a phone. And so you definitely want to have phones that are going to appeal to the masses at different price points. And what really intrigued me the most about this particular phone was how exactly like the S10 and the S10 Plus is it going to be? Like, where did Samsung cut corners, for cost? Because this phone, like I said, out the door, I paid $401.45, including taxes and everything on Amazon. Like I said, the link will be down below in the description. The S10 Plus that I just sold about a week ago was $1,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, is everything that the S10 and the S10 Plus offering $600 more valuable than rocking something like this here? And as I'm scanning through the phone and scouring through the settings and everything, it's almost as if all the best things, or some of the best things about the S10 and the S10 Plus are here. But of course, you take away some of those premium features. So say, like, for instance, like what is this? What does the S10 and the S10 Plus have that this doesn't? Okay, the S10 and the S10 Plus has Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and Corning Gorilla Glass 6 on the rear. You've got wireless charging. You've got the curved edges on the left and the right side of the device. Okay, that's going to allow you wireless charging. Okay, we've got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the front of this phone, and it's plastic on the rear, but it's a beautiful premium feeling plastic. You're not going to know that this phone is plastic. And I mean, just the color effect, even though this is black, but like you see, like when the light shines off of it, it reflects different colors. I mean, it's a very beautiful head turning device. And so we don't get the curved edges. We don't get wireless charge. I was listening to some audio on the phone, and it sounded, because the bottom firing speaker is very loud. And it sounded as though sound could have been coming from the little earpiece that is just right here above the camera sensor, but I was wrong about that. And so we don't have dual stereo speakers. We only have the bottom firing speaker, but again, it's very loud. You're not going to have any problem hearing this thing, your ringtones or notifications or anything like that. But we do lose the stereo speaker functionality. Okay, so we don't have wireless charging here. We don't have stereo speakers. We have a bigger Super AMOLED display here. We've got a teardrop notch as opposed to the notch or the front-facing cameras being embedded in the top right corner of the screen. This has a bigger battery than the S10 Plus. The S10 Plus has a 4,100 milliamp hour battery. This has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. They both have Type-C. And to counter the fact that this phone does not have the wireless charge capability, what Samsung did was they throw you a 25 watt fast charger in the box. You know what I mean? So this thing charges super fast. I mean, even though it's a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, which is a really big cell, it still charges extremely fast. Now, not as fast as warp charge like we see on the OnePlus 7 Pro or anything like that, but as big as this battery is, it charges much faster than you would think. A lot of phones that have batteries this big, it may take, an hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours to charge. You know what I mean? From 0 to 100. So, you get faster wired charging on this particular device. You still got the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack there, which I believe it's the same one that's on the S10 and the S10 Plus, because you still do have, it's the 32-bit, let's see, 384 hertz audio DAC here, with Dolby Atmos sound. And if we go down to our quick toggles, you can see I swear I saw it. Yeah, here it is right here. Yeah. So here's Dolby Atmos right there. I mean, so for all you people that like to plug in, I mean, you still have that feature. And like I said, I mean, the A70 here is that upper tier mid-range that's getting close to flagship. I mean, the other two phones in the A series that are flagships that have all the 2019 latest and greatest specs, Snapdragon 855 processor, 6 to 8 gigs of RAM, big cameras and all that kind of thing. You got the Samsung A80 and then the new Samsung A90 that's going to be released, I believe, the same time that the Note 10 and the Note 10 Pro is going to be released. And those are cheaper options than the Note 10 and the Note 10 Pro. And so it's like, if you want something a little bit newer than the S10 or the S10 Plus, but you don't want to spend the money that Samsung is going to be charging for the Note 10 or the Note 10 Pro, then man, you can cop yourself this. You can cop yourself the Samsung A80, which I believe is going for like $700, and then the A90 I hear is going for like $800 or something like that. But those, the A70, or I'm sorry, the A80 and the A90 both are going to have the Snapdragon 855 chips, 8 gigs of RAM, killer cameras, all that stuff. I think here on the A72, there's a little bit of a drop off in the camera quality. I know that the S10 and the S10 Plus just recently got an update, which because of that update, now that camera is being compared to the Pixel. That camera is being compared to Pixel quality now because of that update. The camera was good before that, but they're saying it's even better now with the update. I do notice that the quality on the A7 here is not what it is on the S10 or the S10 Plus. That doesn't mean that it's bad though, because for the average consumer, people that just like to point and shoot, and you still have a lot of the bells and whistles that you have on the flagship cameras here on the Samsung A70, and I'll display that here momentarily. But this camera is solid. It's definitely going to get the job done. I mean, picture quality, clarity, sharpness, detail, color accuracy, and all that stuff is on point with this camera, but it's going to be a little bit better on the flagship on the flagship side of things. So with those things that I just mentioned, is the S10 and the S10 Plus really worth $600 more than this? Things that make you go, ask yourself that question. I don't think so. Because I mean, again, here, we're not getting the Snapdragon 855, which is what you're going to find on the S10 and the S10 Plus, but you're getting a nice Snapdragon 675, which is a very snappy processor. Same processor that's in the Moto Z4, and that phone is very snappy. The good thing about that too is that processor is extremely optimized for optimal battery performance. So you got a Snapdragon 675 here with a big 4,500 milliamp hour battery, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking about battery life that's going to last you maybe 2.5 days on one charge, depending on how you use your phone. And even if you're a heavy user, you're still not going to kill off this phone quickly. And if you do just so happen to, you got a 25 watt fast charger to charge this thing right back up if you need to top it off real quick. I mean, so, as far as the features and functions, I mean, the software features that you find in the S10 and the S10 Plus, and everything that the new One UI offers, you're going to find here on the Galaxy A70. There's nothing software-wise that this phone is lacking underneath the S10 and the S10 Plus. It's the same experience, same features, same functions, same everything, right? And One UI is just, it's one of my favorite operating systems right now. But I mean, if you go down, I mean, as you can see, I've got where is it at? I've got the dark mode enabled, you know what I mean? And so you just hit night mode and it turns everything dark. Okay. The settings menu, it's dark. I mean, the same settings: connections, sounds and vibrations, notifications, display, wallpaper and themes, lock screen, biometrics and security, which I just displayed the fingerprint sensor and the Face ID for you guys, accounts and backups, Google, advanced features, accessory. I mean, we don't have a dedicated Bixby key, but the home button right here, you can turn on this home button to function as the Bixby key, if that's what you wanted to do. Or you can just access Bixby by just saying, "Hey Bixby," or you can just on the desktop just swipe hard to the right, and that's going to bring up Bixby. Okay, so I mean, a lot of people didn't like the fact that there was a dedicated Bixby button. It was nice that, you know, Samsung through an update gave us the ability to turn off that button because there was a lot of accidental presses to access Bixby. But they didn't give us the option to remap that button. What's like on here, it's like you can't necessarily remap the button, but you can choose whether or not you want the power key to be the Bixby button, and then you'll just be able to turn off your phone through another means. And if you enable Bixby with this button, then it will prompt you on what to press if you want to power down your phone, if you want to reboot your phone. You don't have that feature on the S10 Plus or the S10. And if so, I didn't see that feature because it had a dedicated Bixby button to the left of the device. And so, again, all the features, the settings, the gestures, you know what I mean? Everything. I mean, from the full screen display to getting rid of the navigation keys here, just to be able to navigate your phone with gestures, all the little gestures and things, and you know, one-handed mode, all that stuff that you found on the S10 and the S10 Plus is all here on the Samsung Galaxy A70 for a much, much cheaper cost. Much cheaper cost. Now, performance, again, Snapdragon 675. We've got 6 gigs of RAM on board. I'm connected to my Wi-Fi, so data speeds are going to be a little bit different on your 4G LTE connection. But you see, it just popped right into my Bible app, okay, with absolutely no problems. Let's see. Let's go into my YouTube studio. I mean, these are applications that I've actually opened up, and so I'm not really too sure. Wow, wait a minute. Wait, am I connected to Wi-Fi? Oh, I'm not connected to Wi-Fi. Okay. That would be why it was taking so long to open up. All right, so here we go. Boom. All right, so pops right into my studio. Let's go to YouTube. Okay. Pops right into YouTube with no problems. All right, let's see. Let's go to Spotify. Okay, you should see that. Just pops right into Spotify. And Spotify is a really content-heavy application. So sometimes it takes a few seconds to load that up. It just popped right into it. Same thing with SoundCloud. I mean, I got a lot of playlists and things. And see, I haven't quite signed into SoundCloud yet. But you get the idea. Let's see. Let's go into the Google Suite. We'll pop into Google real quick. Okay, a lot of information here on Google, so it takes a second for it to load. Oh, well, actually, no, it's just, yeah, I mean, it popped up. So there it was. I was looking for the Google feed and everything to see information underneath all that. But Chrome is what I was thinking about, so I had the wrong one. So you see it just pops right into Chrome. No problems at all whatsoever. Now, again, Android 9 Pie running over... oh God, I was going to say MIUI 10. I'm thinking about my Xiaomi. Running over One UI. And so we hit the recents key. All your recents are side scrolling as opposed to vertical. And let's see, if we pop right back into Spotify, it just goes right back into it. Okay, if we pop into SoundCloud, it just goes right back into SoundCloud. All right, pop into YouTube, goes right back into YouTube with no problems. Let's see, go back into the Bible app, just goes right back into it with no reloading or whatsoever. So RAM management is solid on this device. If you want to close out everything, you just go ahead and close all, and there it is. All right, now let's access the camera really quickly. All right, so the different modes that we have in selfie mode, we just have live focus, photo, and video for selfies. We do have the ability to change the zoom function, and so this is our, and this is the sensor here on the selfie camera is a 32 megapixel sensor. We do have the ability to change to a more wide angle view. Okay, so you see that. Okay, now swinging around to the triple camera system here on the back, we've got a 32 megapixel primary sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor, and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. So we do not have a telephoto lens, which provides us with the 2x optical zoom, but the zoom, this ultra wide angle lens, is it really zooms out really wide. This is where I record these videos is my desk. You can see my wireless keyboard here. I've got my HP computer. This is a 24-inch computer monitor. Okay, and so at the angle in which I'm sitting, you're not able to see the whole monitor because I'm like sitting right in front of it. Well, if you hit the wide angle, now you can see the whole computer setup. You see that? So this wide angle, I'm not exactly sure, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, how wide that is, but I mean, it's wide. I mean, you're definitely going to get, you're going to be able to get a lot of stuff in the shot there. A lot of stuff. All right, so just going to take a couple photos real quick. Now look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. I got some of my daughter's little colorful toys from one of their favorite cartoon, which is Paw Patrol right now. And you got little baby Chase and too cute. All right, and stay tuned for the dedicated camera review because I'll be displaying a lot of these photos that I'm taking there as well. And so let's see here. Let's see, let's take a picture of the box. Get another photo going right here. Get a steady hand going. Shutter speed is nice and quick. Okay, now look at that. That is a beautiful photo. I mean, looking at it through the lens of this camera, it doesn't really do it justice. But I mean, again, stay tuned for the dedicated camera review because I'm going to display, you know, a lot of these photos there and you'll be able to check out the real camera quality from this phone. Now I'm going to swing it around and just take a quick little selfie. Now look at that, just the color accuracy, just my skin tone. You know, it's a beautiful day here in Seattle, Washington. It's like 75 degrees, perfect weather. I've got this white light on up here. It's hella hot. I'm getting perspired. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just the color accuracy and the attention to detail and the sharpness is just beautiful. I don't appear to be overexposed at all or anything like that. So yeah, let me go ahead and just take a quick selfie here. Shutter speed is solid. Boom. Very nice photo. I mean, just the details of my camera here, man, that is very, very, very nice. And so again, you are getting a lot of bang for your buck here, ladies and gentlemen, without breaking the bank. All right, now let's go into the camera settings real quick. And so for the viewfinder for the rear camera, we've got photo, we've got live focus, we've got pro mode, we've got panorama. Okay, we've got video, super slow-mo, and hyperlapse. Okay, so we're just swinging back over the photo real quick. Now let's go to the settings. Okay, now under the photo settings, we've got scene optimizer. We've got hold shutter button 2, and I got that set to take burst shots. We've got save options, rear video size. So right now by default, it's set at 16:9 at full 1080p. But as you can see right there, we can change that to full screen or 1:1. And then the resolution, there's your 4K at the top, 3840 by 2160 at 30 frames per second. We can also do full HD at 60 frames per second at 1080p. It's set by default at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and we can scale it down to 720. All right, so we'll just go ahead and keep that as is. Front video, again, it's also set at 16:9. We also can go full screen or 1:1. The resolution is set to 1080. The front camera is 1080 at 30 frames per second. And we can scale that down to 720. And I believe that's also at 30 frames per second, or maybe 240 frames per second or something for the 720. I'm not sure. But we'll just leave that as is. All right. Now we've got high efficiency video, HDR rich tone, and I just have that set to apply when needed as opposed to always apply. Okay, grid lines, I got that set. Location tags, camera mode, which I just displayed those when we were swiping back and forth. Those are the different camera modes. Shooting methods. All right, so you got press the volume key to zoom in, or you can use it to take photos. Voice control, floating shutter button, and show palm. And what that is like if you're taking a selfie, all you do is just show your palm like that to the camera, and the camera will go ahead and snap the photo. All right, quick launch, watermark, reset, settings, contact us, and about camera. So those are the camera options. We've got our flash here. Here is the timer. And what is this? Let's see. Oh, wait. So this is the... Oh, okay. So this is the different screen sizes that we can use. So we can go 3x4. So we're set at 3x4 right now. Or we can go 16 by 9, 1 by 1, or full. So we can change that here if we want to. And then here we've just got these little filters to change lighting if we want to use those. And then under the filters, you've got beauty mode, which beauty mode is off. And then we hit that to get rid of those filters. And then at the top there, top right, we've got AR emoji. And then at the top left, we've got Bixby Vision. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got for the camera. Now, again, for this bottom firing speaker, let me go ahead and let me swing over to YouTube real quick and cue up one of my favorite tracks right now by my man Lakey, Inspired. Let me type that in real quick. By the pool. There it is. Lakey, Inspired. Boom. Let's get it in.
Save up to 40% off select patio clearance. Big Lots.
Volume's turned all the way up. Doesn't sound distorted at all, even though the volume is all the way up. And of course, you know, when you hold it from the bottom, the sound kind of projects off of your palm, and so it makes it a little bit louder. But if I cover the speaker, as you see, there's no sound coming out of that earpiece right there. All the sound is coming from the bottom firing speaker. And you see when I remove my thumb, it's loud. Okay, no distortion at all whatsoever. It sounds nice and clear even at the highest volume. And yeah, like I said, I mean, you should not have any problems at all hearing your ringtones or your notification sounds. And actually, speaking of that real quick, one of the main things too that I love about Samsung is if we go down to sound and vibrations and we go down to volume, you know, there's not a lot of devices that do this because a lot of times the ringtone and the notification tone are the same. But sometimes you'll have a ringtone that is just it's recorded. It's either recorded or it's just a higher frequency than say your notification sound. So your ringtone may be extremely loud, but you can barely hear your notification. But then it's like if you turn up the volume just to be able to hear your notification, now your ringtone is much louder than you may want it to be. And so I like the fact that Samsung, under the volume options, it gives you the option to toggle the volume for not just the ringtone, but for your notifications as well. So you've got ringtone, media, notification, system, and Bixby voice. And so you can turn your ringtone where you want it. And you know me, I'm a Halloween guy, so my ringtone on all my phones is always Halloween. It's always Michael Myers on every one of my devices. Okay, but then my notification tone. All right, let's go ahead and stop that. But then I can have my notification tone to be louder or not as loud as my ringtone, depending on the notification that I have. And so, big fan of that. I just thought that that was worth mentioning because a lot of phones, they combine the volume of your ringtone and your notification tones. And so I just like the fact that you're given the option here to be able to separate those and toggle the volume for each one separately. So ladies and gents, that's all I've got for the unboxing and the first initial thoughts and impressions for the Samsung Galaxy A70. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. And keep it locked at Pristine Mobile Tech because I've got so much more content to come. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that every time my videos go live, you'll get that notification that I just dropped something. Be the first to check it out. And get down in the comment sections, which is where I'll be posted up at. And let me know about what you think, about what you saw. Hit me with any questions, comments, or feedback. And that's where I'll be answering those questions, comments, and feedback. All right, so you guys already know. Thanks for tuning in. Much love to all of my subscribers. And please stay safe. Get spiritually fit in 2019. We're definitely living in the last days. God is always ready to start over, and he's willing to meet you wherever you are in your lives. It doesn't matter what you got going on. All you got to do is accept him and trust and believe that he'll pull you through. And that's exactly what he'll do if you just trust and believe in him. All right, so get spiritually fit and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. Stay tuned for the dedicated camera review that's going to be coming up for the A70 here, and that's going to be followed by the full pristine review. Catch y'all in the next video. Peace.